Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Here in front of Curious Gorge, where we start the Stormblood. Not Warrior. Warrior. Warrior is the class. Quest meets his match. Serenia, ever a sight for sore eyes. With a hardened look in yours, I take it you've wasted no effort in owning your axe on the battlefield. My brother and I have seen our fair share of battle as well, together with the fledgling warriors of a maelstrom. Their training is coming along quite nicely. In fact, our exploits have earned us admirers of sort. We recently received an anonymous invitation to participate in battle exercises at the Wolf's Den. I haven't the foggiest idea who they are, but it would seem that you do. They mentioned you by name and insisted you join the fray as well. Perhaps they wish to settle an old score. In any case, who are we to deny them the opportunity to cower before the might of a warrior's axe? Come, Serenia, my brother has prepared a boat for us at the Morabi dry docks. If that's the thrashing they crave, then let's not hesitate in giving it to them. Morabi dry docks down here. That waterfall was quite loud. Good, you're here. As I'm sure my brother has told you, we have yet to determine the identities of these challenges. Naturally, we refused at first. Our time would be better spent training the troops. In the end, though, I could not deny their enthusiasm for battle and desired to display their combat prowess, and took it upon myself to accept. At the very least, I surmised it would prove inspiring to our men. With you at our side, it will prove a most enriching experience for all parties involved. I have not to show our men of how to wield an axe, but I shall do what I can to aid you with my healing magics. When you have steeled yourself for battle, we may set out to the Wolf's Den. The Wolf's Den, the PvP area. Arena, huh? Serenia Shadowstar, as I live and breathe, it's been too long. Word has it you've grown strong since the Battle of Salt Strand, even mastered the forgotten arts of a warrior. Wernzone? Question mark? Maybe? That was the armor he wore back then when he tested us. But words are wind. Ready your axe and prove to me why man should fear the bite of your steel. All the way back when we were still normal marauders. Come, warriors, show us your mettle. With pleasure, you will ruin their crossed blades with us. Somewhat familiar marauder. Mercy. We're losing? How can this be? With ease, by the way. Come on, is that all you marauders can muster? So this This is the strength of a warrior. The art of battle celebrated in legend. Perhaps if I were a few winters younger, my efforts would have proven more than an unavailing struggle. You have met and exceeded all expectations. Pains me to say it, but we're no match for the likes of you. God's help us if a Saiyan ever learned to throw an axe about like that. Indeed, the student has surpassed the master. The guild master. For it was I all along. Which we knew. Not even a quizzical lift of a brow? Surely our disguises were not as bad as all that. Or do you mean to say you've forgotten the face of your former instructor? Wilson? By the 12, it is you. And Burnbar! I wasn't expecting to crush Limsa's faint marauders under heel so easily. This was only a warm-up, yes? You've yet to even break a sweat. Togona? Whatever's the matter? Warrior's gaze. Those eyes. She wields the strength of the inner beast? What? What the fuck? Slapstick, really? She swings like a dream. Brother! Serenia, we cannot allow her to leave this pier. Gonna be bedeviled. I fear she's lost to an beast now. We must do whatever it takes to stop her. No one will stand in my way. No one! Oh wow! Very earth beneath her trembles. Fall back! I'm noticing that. Damn it, she hits hard. I will rend the flesh from your bones. Wow. Ah, she is strong. What the? Go! Stay your blade, Serenia. She appears to have calmed down. My apologies. The will of Karash burns brightly within me. Too brightly. Karash. I'm quite certain that was a reckless thrashing of one overcome by the inner beast. But that is a phenomenon seldom seen beyond the walls of my village. Who are you, and from where do you hail, friend? I am Dogono of Akarel. My home was on the StB and lands far to the east. We are unmatched in the ways of the axe. We are a strong people, at times too strong. They are once like me, consumed by this thing you call the inner beast, the will of Karash. We are the taken, cursed with an insatiable thirst for violence. Remarkable. Your people sound not unlike those of my village, though I suppose it stands to reason others share this gift. The strength of one's inner beast stems from a primal instinct we are all born with. It is merely a matter of learning to draw it out, a technique we warriors have long since mastered. Yet you would call it a curse. Have your people not learned to control this power? The will of Karash, this inner beast, can be controlled? Then perhaps I can at last return home. The taken are sentenced to exile. That is why I traveled west, to train further in the ways of Yax. If I can overcome this affliction, I may have a chance for redemption. Well, it's certainly an unexpected turn of events. As our most promising recruit, I wish to see how she might fare against hardened combatants. I never thought she could actually feed the likes of Curious Gorge. Seems to me further training under our roof would be a waste. Might you be willing to take her on? Well, we can't very well leave her unattended. If she should succumb to her inner beast, there's no telling what havoc she might wreak. Then I leave her in your capable hands. I'm sure you'll make a fine warrior out of her. Thank you, sir. I will do anything you ask if it means taming this wretched beast within me. I can't believe I lost. How am I to instruct others when I'm still so lacking? Brother, I'm sorry, but I cannot guide him in the ways of a warrior when I myself have stumbled on the path. Oh, come, Gorge, not again. No, let him be. His lack of a self would only invite hindrance on the task at hand. This is a path he must walk alone. Come, let us go. With my brother engrossed in his own training for the interim, I fear I will be spread too thin overseeing the instruction of Maelstrom recruits to give Dorgoga proper guidance. God's help us should she be consumed by her inner beast. A worldly adventurer such as herself no doubt has other pressing obligations, but you're the only one capable of containing Dorgono should the worst come to pass. Do you think it's possible you could spare time to assist me in her training? Oh, thank goodness. I don't know what I would have done had you refused. Normally, we would gather to train at the Wolf's Den, but I believe exceptions must be made for Dorgono. Yes, both for her sake and the rest of the Maelstrom recruits. For now, I would give this some thought. Pray return here in a few days' times, and I should have a solution. A few days' times. Fortuitous timing, Serenia. I've decided how we might set about training Dorgono. Unfortunately, as you are already aware, my brother will not be present. It seems the situation is more grave than I initially thought. Ever since his clash with Dorgono, he's been unable to draw upon the strength of his inner beast. He insists revisiting the basics of XIV and the marauders skill to restore his abilities, but I suspect his troubles lie elsewhere. The same can be said for Dorgono. Though my brother and I did not complete formal training in the ways of a warrior, You may recall we at last discovered a way for him to control the savagery of his inner beast. A dire encounter that hardened his resolve to protect his allies, thus allowing him to temper his rage. She believes her problem will be solved through physical training, but if we are to succeed in this, we must recreate a similar experience for Dogono. It may prove perilous, but I can see no other way. And we will not have to wait long for the opportunity. As chance would have it, we received a request for aid in routing a group of Mamurja now occupying the ruins of the city of Nim. They originally came here for want of work. Unable to find it, however, they took to pillaging and plundering, and not even maelstrom convoys are spared their attention. To make matters worse, the area also serves as a front line of ongoing battles with the kobolds. Either of these tribes alone is already a handful for our forces, and we cannot well cope with both. That's why our squadron of newly trained warriors has been called to undertake this incursion. Dogono will be accompanying us, and your presence will be imperative in the event she loses control. When you're ready, make for the ruins in Outer Lanosea. I'm half tempted just to look to the marauders to see if Gorge is there, but no. Episode is long enough. Will become long enough. These Mamurjas sound like a savage tribe. I wonder if they prove a match for the Dofal. Good, everyone is here. As far as I can discern, the Mamurja have divided into two groups. A primary force targeting the next maelstrom shipment, and what appears to be groups of sentries posted to warn them of any unwelcome interference. Being the most skilled among us, I would have you sneak into the heart of the ruins and do away with those keeping watch. Meanwhile, I shall lead the others along the northerly route toward the long climb and engage their primary force. If all goes as planned, we should be able to meet where the two paths join. If Dogono should be overcome by our inner beast and show no sign of regaining control, we will retreat immediately and seek you out. If we should come to blows, I beg of you, do what you must to stop me. That is all. If there are no questions, let the operation begin. Yeah, Golem, you don't want to mess with me. Wasting rage once again. Serenia, by the lack of sweat on your bow, I assume you made quick work of the sentries? We for our part managed to claim a narrow victory over the main Mamurja force. Despite the chaos and havoc of battle, Dogono remained unaffected by our inner beast. I'm a slave to Karash no longer. I'm master of the inner beast. Master? Far from it. Brother, what are you doing here? Have you been following us the whole time? Following? Nonsense. I'm merely taking a walk. Yes, I was taking a leisurely walk through ruins of Nim when I happened upon your small altercation with a Mamurja. I couldn't help but notice your form, Dogono. Your battle form, that is. Anyone with eyes could see you were hesitating with every swing of your axe. You never learn to control your inner beast if you're too afraid to push yourself and draw it out. Believe me, I know. Afraid, am I? That switch coming from a pathetic worm I sent flying into waters of a wolf's den pier. Worm? You ungrateful little, call me that again and I call you whatever I please, worm. If you have any complaints, take them up with my axe. You're lucky I'm feeling under the weather today. When next we meet, I have to beat some manners to that pretty little head of yours. Though you may not like his judgment, I have to agree with my brother. I too noticed you seem to be holding back. But the battle was hard won, you showed little need to overexert yourself, let alone call upon your inner beast. I never meant to hold back, it's just, well, I thought it's better not to worry the others. You needn't be so hard on yourself. You did not learn to control your inner beast, no. But we have defeated the Mamuja and shipments to Limsa are now safe. We should all be proud of what we've accomplished today. Now, let us return to Morabi Dry Docks for a well-earned respite. Your thrashing of your Mamuja must have been a glorious sight. Never have I met a woman so fearless, so strong. Strong enough even to overcome me when my inner beast is unleashed. If only I could take you to the Azimstead, I have to go. It seems we will need more than a small scuffle with beastmen for the Orgono to gain control over inner beast. With a Curious Gorge we're here to assist it. Did you also find it strange he would take time away from training to speak with us? Or rather, with Dorgono? If my suspicions are true, he faces an obstacle unlike any he has faced before. Though I'm sure it's nothing you need concern yourself with. You have done well this day. Rest now and gather your strength. We will surely need it for the trials to come. And push comes to shove. Serenia, I'm afraid I have naught but ill tidings to share. The Mamuja have returned with reinforcements. According to reports from Maelstrom Command, they have their eyes fixed on Wineport. Having been driven out from the ruins of Nim, I have no doubt they mean to take the village as their new base of operations. The village that is right next to a Garlean outpost? I'm saying nothing. You have fanned the flames of her aggression, Serenia, and thus it is our duty to put matters to right. I fear they pose too great a threat to consider this part of Dorgono's training. Regardless of what may happen, I expect you to prioritize the Mamuja above all else. When you're ready, my men and I shall meet you at Raincatcher's Gully. Our scouts tell us that the Mamuja are still to the south. There's no way of knowing which path they will take to reach Wineport, so we must head them off at every available avenue, lest they turn the hamlet into a battlefield. Serenia, I would ask you to head due south and do away with any enemies you find along the way. The rest of us shall sweep west toward Red Mantis Falls, then south through the Severed String. Dorgono, you will stay close to me in the rear. You will aid me in support, nothing more. If you insist. I'm sorry, Dorgono, but there's too much at stake to risk your losing control of your inner beast. Yet with you joining me in support, I fear we may lack the strength to do away with the Mamuja. No need to fear, brother, for you have my axe. What a welcome surprise. Are you sure you're able to fight? After bashing boulders and toppling titans of the marauders, I've never felt better. You again. Come to slow us down, worm? No more than the horn-mad cow unable to control her inner beast. How about when this is over, I show you my inner beast and... Enough, both of you. Brother, if you're sure you can handle it, I would have you take the lead. Right then, let's move quickly. Serenia, we will meet when the paths join on the road leading to Limsa Luminsa. It's actually a path that leads around? An actual path? And Mauja. And a few suicidal flies. Okay, those are those. And another group. You alright? Serenia, oh thank goodness you're unharmed. The Mamuja, they caught us unawares as we passed through the severed strings. We had no choice but to make haste toward the rendezvous point. As I feared, brother's boasting was just that. He was the first to falter and failed to keep up as we fled. Him, along with Dogona. Please, you must find them, before they are slain by the Mamuja, or worse. Serenia, be on your guard. Dogono, she defeated the Mamulja, but her inner beast has consumed her. My strength has failed me, Serenia. Please, you have to stop Dogono. I did it! I suppressed the Will of Karash! Could it be? She overcame her inner beast through her resolve to protect me? The flames of her spirit burn so brightly, and yet it feels as though mine have all but gathered out. Pray return to the others without me. I cannot face them like this. We have struck two birds with a single stone. The Mamulja have been repelled, and Dogono has at last gained control over her inner beast. The power of Karash is now mine to control. Soon, my people will welcome me back with open arms. I would certainly hope so. Let us return to the Morabi dry docks and prepare for your send-off, shall we? I lacked the courage to ask before, but now I must. Serenia, would you return with me to the Azim step? There's much my people could teach you, just as you could teach us. With your help, we would never need fear the Will of Karash ever again. Please, Serenia, say you will join my clan. And who would protect Eorzea in my absence? By the mother, of course. How could I be so blind? I could never deprive Eorzea of its protector. Forget what I asked. It was foolish of me to think you would give up your life here in Eorzea. Come, we should return to the Morabi dry docks. The others are waiting. Let us keep our early conversation between us, yes? It pains me to let such a fine warrior leave. Still, I cannot begrudge you for wishing to return home. A part of me wishes to stay and repay your kindness. Before coming here, I was certain redemption was beyond my reach. Now, thanks to you and your warriors, I have learned to harness the power of Karash. At last, I can return home and show my people that strength is a gift, not a curse. Thank you, everyone, for everything. Farewell. Once again, we are indebted to you, Serenia. Not only have we eliminated the Mamulja threat, we have helped Dogono on her way to reuniting with her people. Yet there still remains the matter of my brother. He would not dare admit it, but I knew from the moment he laid eyes on her that he was in love. And therein lies the problem. The only love he has ever known is that of his axe and the thrill of battle. In light of her less than favorable treatment of him since his defeat here at the Wolf's Den, I fear his love and loathing for her are at odds with one another. Unable to get a grasp of his emotion, he lost touch with his inner beast. He will be distraught in her absence, to be sure, but as they say, time heals all wounds. All we can do now is wait and hope he recovers. If anything should happen, you will be the first to know. Okay. What do we wanna bet that he takes us along to the Azim step to follow her? We will see, right? Another time, however. As I end this episode here, until next time, when we play more Final Fantasy XIV, I am Ace, and don't get lost.